today, amen. It's the day that the Lord has made, amen. You ought to be glad. You ought to be thankful for whatever God has done. He allowed you to be able to see another day. You ought to be thankful. I know I'm thankful. You ought to be thankful for everything that God has done and what He is doing right now. We ought to be thankful, amen. God allow you to be able to see another day. You ought to be thankful. I am here, amen. I am here, amen. It wasn't your alarm clock. It wasn't the dog barking outside. It wasn't because your phone notification going off. It wasn't because the kid got up out of the bed making racket noise. It's because of God woke you up early this morning and allow you to be able to see another day. You ought to be thankful. You ought to be grateful. Amen. Every day is a blessing. Every day is a blessing. You ought to be thankful. Amen. You ought to be thankful for everything that God has done. Amen. I'm here. Amen. With a podcast called Adopted by God. Here, me, yours truly, Antoine Wright Sr. Amen. And here, you know what I'm saying? Here, time and time again, when I get on here, I want to be able to help you to be able to find peace. And then when you find peace, I want to help you to be able to hold on to that peace. We just need to know how important it is to have peace. You need to have peace with God, peace with each other, peace within yourself, have a peace of mind, peace in the midst of your situation, just overall peace. Amen. We just need that peace. And I'm telling you right now, when you just get a little bit of ounce of peace, when you just get a little bit of taste of peace, it goes a long way when you get some kind of peace. We all need that peace. We all need peace and each and every day, wherever we go. We need peace. We need peace in our home. We need peace in our job. We need peace in our car. We need peace when we go to the grocery store. We need peace when we go to the bank. We need peace when we go to church. We need peace. Amen. And that's the thing about it is about just about peace and how important it is to have peace, because when you have peace, it don't matter what goes on around you or in your life, you still have that faith, you still have your trust, and you still leaning and depending on God. You not, so you still leaning and depending on God. And the thing of it is right here is that I know we have been talking about for a little while. We have been talking about mental health and how important it is to be able to be considered to consider about your mental health. It is important to look at your mental health. It is necessary to look at it and be up to standard, be up to up and be mindful of your mental health. Because think about it right here, day by day, we are surrounded by storms. We're surrounded by trial tribulation. We are surrounded about trouble all different directions, right side, left side, front, back. We are all dealing with all type of trouble. And the thing of it is that when we can be able now, and this thing about when we can be able to look and see the necessary need to look at our mental health, it's because when it don't matter what goes on, you still gonna have your mind in a stable and be under control to the point that you don't make a decision that will cost your life because anybody else. You don't make a decision that will cause you to fall back 5 times. You won't make a decision that will hurt your family, hurt your kids. It's because of your mental health. It's up to par to the point that you make wise decisions, that you don't make decisions out of emotion. And the thing of it right here, it's getting harder and harder. It's getting tougher and tougher every day. Because think about it, the enemy is always trying to attack our mind. Because think about it, you think about it, when we allow our mind to be into a point that we have that 1 minute of anger. You think about it now, that 1 minute of anger can cause some harm onto yourself and the people around you, just that moment of anger. But when you have your mental health, when you was aware of your mental health, then think about it right here, you know how to control your anger to the point that you don't allow that moment of anger to determine the next step. And the thing of it right here is that when you think about mental health, when you think about mental health, I want to talk about today, and this is right here is the encouragement when all of us are dealing with all different types of all different types of storm, all different types of trial, tribulation, trouble, issues, all type of stuff. We all are dealing with that. But think about it right here is that who do we give our problems to? Think about it now. Who do we give our issue to? Who do we give our troubles to? Who do we give our problems to? Who do we give? Who do we give our life over? Who do we give it to? Who do we give all of our issue with our coworkers? Who do we give our issue with our problems, issue with our kids, issue with our spouses, issue with church? Who do we give it to? Who do we give the problem that we face day by day? Who do the trial tribulation that we give to? Who do we give it to day by day? And the thing about it right here is that I'm encouraging you now, and I'm not talking about what somebody told me. I'm not talking about what I heard somebody experience. When I give my trouble over to Jesus, He makes everything all right. And the thing about it right here is that I want to encourage you day by day trouble. Just give it over to Him. Just give it to Jesus and watch how Jesus can be able to fix your issue in the point that you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to work hard at it. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to stress about it. You don't have to be depressed about it. It's because it's in Jesus' hand. And the thing about it right here is that you gotta know is that when you give it to Jesus, you gotta have the fact that Jesus is gonna handle the issue, the problem on his. He gonna handle it, but think over here that he gonna handle it on how he want to handle it, and also now it is on his time frame. It ain't on your time frame. It's on his time frame. Now, the thing with right here is that he didn't say he gonna solve our issue right on that right when we want it, but he was thinking about it. He is a on time Jesus, on time. He gonna show up on time. And the thing about it right here is that when you look at now, think about it right here. When you think about giving to Jesus, I have to go back with the woman with the issue of blood. And the thing about it, if you want to read about it, you can go and read about it. And say you can see it in all the gospel. But one thing that I like it in one of the gospels, I like it Mark. You can look at Mark the 5th chapter, starting with the 25th verse. And it talks about the woman with the issue of blood. Now you think about it right here. Now you think about the woman with an issue. Now she had been having an issue. She been having this problem that she had been dealing with for what? For so many years. The Bible records for 12 long years dealing with the same issue. You think about it, that she could have thrown the towel a long time ago, but she still kept on fighting. She kept on fighting the fight. She kept on with it, even though she was dealing with the issue the time and time again. She still stuck it out. Think about it right here. She went all around looking for answers, looking for different answers, spending all of her money, all of her earning her money, going to doctor. But it seems like the issue is still there. And the thing about it right here is that even though she was dealing with an issue, she still kept hope alive. She still was looking for an answer. She still was looking for somebody that could be able to solve her issue. She still was looking for somebody that could be able to cure to be able to solve her problem that she's been dealing with for so many years. She knew that she didn't have any type of money. She had all of her money. She went doctor to doctor. Doctor probably telling her the same story after story. She had issues, many problems, issues on top of issues, day by day. And things right here. And it seemed like it wasn't getting no better, but she still was looking for answers. I want to think with right here is that even though that you don't have the answer right now, just still keep looking. Because the thing about it right here, you're gonna find it sooner or later. Sooner or later, you're gonna find the answer because the right person gonna give you the answer. The thing about it right here is that she at a point of time now that she dealing with so much issue that she could have quit, she could have thrown the towel, she could have just said, "Forget about it. I'm just gonna quit." But she kept going. The thing about her that while she was keeping going, she had to have some patience. She had to endure some patience, even though she had an issue. But think about right here, she was still patient enough. She was still determined enough in order for her to be able to find the answer. And the thing about it right here is that while she was on this journey of trying to find an answer, think about it right here. Is that all of a sudden she heard. Now you think about that. She heard. She heard Jesus was nearby. Now think about it right here. You think about it right here. That by what she was going through, she put herself in a position to hear about Jesus. Think about it now. She put herself in a position in order to hear that Jesus was nearby. That Jesus was right there in front of her, that Jesus was nearby. I think about right here is that she's looking for him. She's looking somebody to solve an issue. But when she heard that Jesus was nearby, the thing about it right here is that after she heard that Jesus was nearby, her mind was made up and said that I know, this is my answer right here. Jesus sitting right here waiting on me. And think about it right here is that she was determined, that she said in her mind, is that if I can just touch him, if I can just touch him, if I can touch him, I know that my problem can be able to be solved. Because she had a mind that if I can just give it over to him, he can be able to solve my issue. If I just give it over to him, this thing right here is that she had the faith before she even touched him. Think about it. Now, think about it. She had the faith before she even gave her problem over to him. She had the faith before she even gave her problem over to him. She had the faith before she gave before she gave the issue to Jesus. She had the faith in Jesus already that he's gonna fix her problem. This thing about it right here, that before you can be able to give it to Jesus, you have to be able to have a faith before you give it to him. Ain't no point. And think about it right here. Think about it right. You ain't gonna call on the cops if you don't feel if you don't have no faith to fix it. You ain't gonna call no plumber if you don't call no plumber if you don't believe you're gonna fix it. You don't call on the roof man if you don't believe you can fix it. But when you can be able to have the faith in Jesus, that Jesus will be able to solve your problem, then you can be able to give it to him. You ain't gonna give it to him if you don't have no faith in him. But if your faith is in Jesus, if you and your faith in Jesus is right here, you already know that when you give it to him, that he's gonna solve your problem. When you give it to him, he's gonna solve your issue. When you give it to him, he's going to be able to do anything but fail. In the midst of our problem, in the midst of an issue of what she's going to. Think about it right here. And that she became poor, no better hope. It even got worse, but she heard about the wonderful miracle of Jesus did. Think about it right here. She heard about it. Now think about that now. In order for her to be able to go to Jesus, she heard some great things about him. Don't you know how important it is to 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 to, to remember what Jesus and just keep an eye on people testimony and look around what Jesus already did. And think about it right here is that sometimes we have to be able to remind ourselves is that if Jesus fixed our problem back then, I know he can be able to fix it right now. And the thing about it right here is that many people can be able to tell you, the thing about it that we have to keep in mind now is that no, not when you look all around of what Jesus has already done for other people, don't you know that he can do the same thing for you? What Jesus did for me, I know he can be able to do it for you. All you gotta do is have faith in him and give it over to him. Give it over to Jesus. And the thing about it is that she did not allow nothing to stop her from getting to touch Jesus. Think about it right here. Is that we cannot allow our problem, we cannot allow our issue to stop us from getting it, stop us from having a close relationship with Jesus. And think about it, we have allowed issues and problems, issues on top of issues, to stop us from giving over to Jesus. We have allowed the world to determine how far, we have allowed the world to determine how we should act, how we should move, and how we should operate our life, and how we should treat Jesus. We have allowed the world to stop us from having a close relationship with Jesus. I'm gonna tell you right now, the more I have more I talk to Jesus, the more I have patience with Him, the more I fall in love with Him, the closer I get to Jesus. The closer my relationship is with Jesus. And the thing about it right here is that what came in the realization, the more and the more deeper I fall in love with Him, the more I can be able to talk to Him. When nobody else, I can be able to talk to Him. I don't need a whole crowd. I don't need nobody to talk to Jesus for me. And I can be able to talk to Him for my own self. When my relationship is so strong with Jesus that I can talk to Him any time of day, I know He will be able to solve my problem. I know He'll be able to solve my issue. The thing about it right here is that even though she had a crowd in front of her, that didn't stop her. She did not allow the crowd to stop her from getting to Jesus. So she pressed, pulled, push people out of the way, crawl up, probably, and think about it, I think they even crawl or push or squeeze her way through the crowd in order for her to be able to touch Jesus. Because she was determined that she already had the mind frame now. Think about it now. She already had the mind that if I could be able to touch him, I know that he can be able to make me whole. She didn't say to make her heal. She didn't say to be heal from her pain. She want to be able to be whole. Woo! Think about it now. Think about it. Think about it now. And think about it is that she said, if I could be able to touch him, I know I would be able to be healed. But think about it right here is that when she touched him, by her faith, she was healed. And the thing about it right here is that we gotta have the faith in Jesus before we can be able to give it to him. We have to be able to leave our problem, our issues over to Jesus. And the thing of it is that we give our problem over to everybody else but Jesus. We give our problem over to our co-workers. We give our issues, our problem over to our so-called friends and our family, and it seems like that they don't have the answer, but Jesus has the answer that you need. But all you have to do is just give it over to him. Give it to him. Stop trying to give the word over your Facebook your problem. Stop trying to give Twitter and the social media your problem. Just give it over to Jesus. You ain't got to talk anything about it right here. Is that don't you know is that you cannot blame nobody but your own self when you give your problem to the wrong somebody. You cannot tell everybody your issue. You cannot explain your problem to anybody. But don't do that. But when you can be able, when you talk to Jesus, you ain't gotta worry about nobody talking about you. You ain't gotta worry about nobody telling about your business. You ain't gotta worry about nobody looking at you funny, looking acting strange around you, or look at you all crazy, all of that just because you tell them your problem. You ain't gotta worry about that when you give it over to Jesus. When you give your problem over Jesus, you ain't got to worry about him treating you any type of different, any type of way. He gonna treat you the same. He's still gonna love you, and he's still gonna protect you. He's still gonna be there right with you. He's still gonna be there for you. All you have to do is to have your faith in him. And think about it, right? Jesus is here for us. All we gotta do is just give it to him. If you want peace, you gotta give it to him. If you want understanding, you got to give it to him. If you want wisdom, you got to give it to him. If you want joy, you got to give it to him. If you want, if you want happiness, you got to give it to him. If you want hope, you got to give it to him. All you have to do is put your trust in Jesus. Keep your focus on him and watch he will be able to give you the everlasting peace. Thank you, and you have a blessed day.